everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. How are you, Reverend T, the mindful coach over there?
I am well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for letting me be on your show today. I am so humbled to be here.
Well, I am so humbled to have you here. Glad to have you. We're talking about a very important topic today, which is how to pretty much be mindful and to be able to mind our own business and our own mental health. And we're going to be doing that today with the mindful coach, Reverend T, Tanika Steens. And I am going to formally introduce her to you all, but I want you all to grab your virtual seats and get ready for a great episode. Make sure that you know you're welcome to put a lot of comments and share your thoughts and ask any questions that you may have. Now, of course, you can see my dog that got in the shot. I think he knows that he's getting a chance to get a few moments of a debut here on the Kim Jacobs Show. But that's the way I can keep him quiet, is if I can keep him in the background and let him enjoy himself. But this show, again, is Kim. I'm Kim Jacobs. I'm the balance doctor. So, you know, we all balance our lives and we wear a lot of different hats, roles, responsibilities, things that we have to endure, things that we have to deal with, places we have to be. We're trying to balance this thing in the best possible way called life. And so today, my guest is going to talk to you about how she has balanced her life, what she's had to overcome to become who she is today. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Reverend T. Do you want to be called Reverend T or the mindful coach or Tanika? What do you want to be called?
A child of God.
Child of God. Okay, child of God. All right, listen. Let's see who's coming in so far this morning. I see you, Minura. You said good morning. Glad to have you today. Good morning from India. Shurkamp says, good morning, Tammy. How are you today? Daniel's in the house. Good afternoon. And Sierra Leone. Okay. Good morning to everyone. I see you as a Facebook user over there. We love you all. Also love Mr. Motivator, Les Brown. Yes, we all love Dr. Les Brown. And he is a force to be reckoned with, just to say the least. 77 years old on this earth and literally still so touchable and relatable and able to help so many people overcome their fears. So I'm excited that God has blessed Les Brown to be a part of our journey and allowing us to be here on this platform, the Kim Jacobs Show. All right. Good morning from Puerto Vallarta. I saw you in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, Lorraine. Tammy says, I'm well. Thank you. Glad to have you, Tammy. Wang says, good morning from Sydney. Brand New says, good morning. And Martha says from San Marcos, Texas. All right. All right. I see you from South Carolina, Tawana. And good evening, wherever you are, Roar. Good afternoon from Asurka, Ghana. Nana, glad to have you. And hi, child of God, Gertrude said. Hey, child of God. Great rising, a Facebook user says. And someone from Singapore. Good morning from Greensboro, North Carolina. You're over here in the North Carolina woods where I am. Okay. Let's see. Nick Cephas from South Africa. I see you from Kansas City, and I see you. Thank you for mentioning my comment. You're welcome, Sakam. All right. All right. Alaman, I see you. Good evening from Bangladesh. And Alaman, thank you for everything that you're doing. Okay. Good morning from Texas. All right, everybody. Lots of shout outs this morning as we kick off today's broadcast. You're in for a treat because we are going to be talking with the mindful coach, and I'll give her, let me go ahead and just tell you who she is now. Then we'll take a commercial break. So let's see. The mindful coach is the host of MIND, Mind Your Business podcast. The mindful coach is also the coach at Your Full Mind Life. And her goal is to empower women to make a positive impact on the world with fiery passion, unbridled self-belief, head-turning style. And she believes that everyone was created for a purpose and should be able to live our lives with joy. And she will teach us how today on the Kim Jacobs Show. So welcome, Reverend Tanika L. Steens, the Mindful Coach. Welcome.
Thank you, Kim. First off, I want to say thank you to my good friend, Jo Evans, for referring me to your show. She is so awesome and she is doing so well in everything that she's doing. And I'm just grateful that she thought of me to be on your show. And so I just want to give her a shout out first and foremost. And also, thank God for allowing me this opportunity and this great space to be in the presence of you right now and to be on your show. And so I'm just humbled because I'm usually on the other side of the interviewing.
Yeah, you're interviewing, right? It's
so
hot.
I
It's
laugh
over there in the hot seat, huh?
Yeah. So I laugh whenever I'm on the other side. I'm like, why am I being interviewed? But yeah, so I'm excited to be here today and to share a little bit of what I know.
Well, good. I cannot wait. And thank you so much, Jolisa, for Flow with Jo is her podcast and show. So make sure you all check out Jo Evans Flow with Jo. And I'm grateful that she took the time to refer you to this program. All right. So everybody, listen, when we come back after this commercial break, we're going to go ahead and jump right in to our topic, being mindful. How important it is. We'll be right back.
It's not just another day. It's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, we're back and we're talking with Reverend T, the Mindful Coach. And we want to talk about, you said literally that, and I was reading this, that you understand what it means to be able to overcome some things and to still be able to thrive while going through those things.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I'm telling you, from 2020 to present, it's been one thing after another.
Yes, for all of us. Yes,
absolutely. And I guess I didn't realize what I was going through until I came out of some of it. And, just being mindful of what's going on and where you are in the time that you're going through it, because it goes back further than 2020, but 2020 is when everything came to a head. And I think it's not just for me, everybody is when everything came to a head. But I'm in the middle of going to school, going to ministry classes, trying to maintain a family and a marriage and run a business all at the same time.
That's a lot, right?
And yeah, and then not only that, dealing with certain issues that I have to deal with. And there's no time to stop and actually say, you know what, I can't handle this right now. I had to simultaneously continue to keep moving and to keep going through these things while trying to figure it out. And when 2020 came and COVID hit, it's like a light bulb went off and it was like, oh my God, everything that I've been working for up until now is now come to fruition, because now I understand how I can help people.
So it was like an epiphany, like, yes, a aha moment, a moment of, well, Lord, V8 moment, here we go, type of thing.
Yeah.
It all came to the forefront of your thoughts that this is why I've gone through all that I've experienced for such a time as this, for this moment in time. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what was it that was that peak, that coming to the head of, this is the climax of the situation, that's it. This is what I'm born for. What was
Wait it? For it. Nobody knows. I had a mental breakdown because I can handle it all. I can do it all. I can handle it all. And I can just keep going. And you know what? It was true for a while until it wasn't. And I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept that this was happening to me and that these things were going on. But let's be real with yourself is what I had to do. I had to come to Jesus.
Yeah.
That you can't handle it all. You can't do it all, and you don't have to.
That's right. But so when you came, it's one thing to be on an island by yourself. You come to that realization and you're in your bedroom and you're like, okay, I am at my complete wits end here. I'm not able to take on any more. One more thing and I'm gonna crack. And you really kind of feel this based on what I'm hearing you say. You could feel this thing weighing on you and burdening you down. But when you were in this situation dealing with it by yourself, did you share it with any other people? Did you say, okay, listen, let me time out. I need help here. I need somebody to intervene, call me, check on me, let me know that you think that you care about what I'm dealing with, what I'm going through. No?
I did it so well. I was good at what I did. I did it so well that nobody knew I needed help. Nobody thought that I needed help because you look like you got it together. And I was good at looking like I had it together. Very good, because I didn't know any different. I didn't know how to look different. And I know how to ask for help. Let me change that. I know how to help other people.
I was going to say, I bet you that's what you're trying to say. So you're master at helping other people because you can see their pain, you can see their struggles. But when it comes to asking for help yourself, that's a different beast. So you were not in a mode of somebody come and help me. Actually, I was listening to something last evening and Les Brown was on speaking, him and Stormy, and they, it had me in tears. It was just an emotional moment because they're both such powerhouses, right? And so one thing that Stormy said, which I loved, was that check on your friends that you think do have it all going on. So make sure you take the time to pick up the phone, call them. And she even went further and said, ask them 3 things that they have going on. So it gives them a chance to think about some of the things that they're dealing with, some of the things that they're going through, and that way they can articulate it to you. That'll give you a flavor of where they are mentally. I loved that advice that she shared. And then one thing that Les Brown said that I thought was amazing is he said he had to realize that nobody's coming to save me. No, I'm out here being a superhero. I'm out here living this thing called life and doing everything I know to do to be masterful and on purpose and on point. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not a superhero. I'm a human being and nobody's coming to save me.
Powerful. That's so true. And the thing is, I always would say, if I had a Tanika in my life, I would be awesome. It would be great because they would understand what I'm going through, because nobody understands, because I'm the go-to person. I'm the one that everybody calls for the help or the advice and the answers. And, she's going to take care of it. And it got to the point where when I got to the point to not being able to take care of it, and this is where the mental breakdown comes. Okay. So there was something that happened that I had told my kids, you guys are safe. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything's going to be taken care of. You're going to be together, because our family is dynamic because of how we came together.
Right.
And that's probably a whole nother show, but
I was gonna say, you about to make me cry, and I don't even know what you're gonna say, but my eyes immediately started welling up. So I'm like, where's this going?
I'm at a point now where it's easier to talk about, but I got a phone call in 2016, and 5 of my nieces and nephews were in foster care. And at that point, I immediately went into, what are we gonna do to get them out? There are 8 of them altogether. And we already had one. We've had her since she was 3 to 6 years old. And so she was the only child in our house at that time. We had her, but we knew that the other siblings were out there, but we thought that everything was fine until we got the phone call that they were separated.
That's the point. Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Right.
And at that point, I just went into, we got to get them out. So for the next 2 years, from 2016 to 18, we fought to get them out. In the process, a baby was born in the mix, which actually sped up everything and helped them to get out faster. Okay. So when they came into our house, at this point, he had just turned 1 year old, and the youngest little girl was 2 at the time. Okay. And once we got them into our house, she was 4. He was 1 and she was 3 coming into our house.
Okay.
And when they came into our house, this was the first time that they were able actually to bond together.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a 13-year-old and 11-year-old and a 15-year-old. And then we had ours that was already here, and she was 13. So I got all these age groups, all these different dynamics going on.
A wide variety of people, right?
But the promise that I made was, you're safe now.
Right. Okay. So that's the promise you made, and that gives you guys some context to understand that this is why it was so important to her when she said you guys are safe, is because they had already been through such trauma.
Absolutely.
And so it was no way that whatever you're about to say, that you wanted them to have that reassurance. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they have 2 older siblings and another sibling that was older than the youngest girl. Well, his dad had got him. And so I felt like in that point he was safe because he was with his dad. Yes. And he knew his dad. His dad was in his life, and they had a good bond. I don't want to break that up. I don't believe in disrupting lives.
Of course not. Right.
Okay. So then for the next 2 years, we have all the children here. Everybody's together. We're having Christmases. We're all together. All the children at one time are together. Right. Some of them hadn't seen each other in 10 years. Right. And so now they know that they've got a place that they can be safe.
Right.
On February 14th, 2020, I got a phone call, Valentine's Day, that the baby, his dad was going to get custody of him because fathers take precedent. Mind you, the only parents that this baby knew, we taught him to walk and talk, and everything that he knew was me and my husband. We were the only mom and dad he knew at this point. I had to preach that Sunday. And on that Monday, they were taking him. I went into church on the 8th of March after he had left. I went in on the 8th of March. And if you can remember what happened on the 16th of March, they shut churches down.
Right.
On the 8th of March, I went into the church and I said, God is not pleased and he's about to shut it down. And I turned around and I walked out, and I'm like, I'm not going back. I'm done. Now, mind you, I'm in the middle of ministry, school. I'm about to graduate to get my bachelor's degree. I've got these kids. I've got this family. I've got all this. And for the next 8 days, I'm walking around aimlessly, not knowing that I'm even in this world. I'm thinking that everybody else is losing it, but it's me. And I had this breakdown because I went into panic mode because I no longer could keep my promise. Because my little girl kept saying, when you leave, are you coming back? And that weighed on me, and it weighed on me because she was worried about her brother. Where's her brother? Is he okay? And I can't tell you that everything is okay and people are safe.
At this point, you can't have any guarantees because you don't know if a parent, a father is going to show up and get precedence. So at this point, your promise of you all, and it didn't change. Let's be clear. Your promise didn't change. Your promise actually still was in effect because the child was safe. He just was safe in a different situation, according to what you're saying, right?
Yeah, but is he?
I don't know. And I'm not
I had to pray. It took a long time to get to this point. It took a long time because at that point I didn't eat, I didn't sleep. I stayed up for days just trying to figure out how to get him back, how to solve this problem. Why God isn't giving me what I want? Because you said if I ask for anything in your name, you will give me. Come on, God.
You were in a whole state of shock, panic, distress, denial, anger,
everything all at one time, while still doing everything that I had to do. Right.
Wow.
And then they took me to the hospital. They're like, you need some rest.
Well, that's because I don't know how. I can only speak on any mother's behalf, but I'm not speaking. I can only speak on my behalf. I can't speak on anybody else's. When you are responsible for your children and something happens that is, and these are your children at this point.
Yeah.
You've taken them in as your own, and you've made promises and things that you believe that you can stand by, and things happen opposite of that. It shakes the foundation of who you are. And that definitely can alter a lot of ways that our minds work. And so I empathize with what you were going through. And this is a very heartbreaking story that you're sharing. So I would
Well,
love to hear, how did you get through
yeah,
that?
well, everything that we were told was a lie from the children coming into our home in the court system. And that's a whole nother story. And I just, I advocate for children because they shouldn't have to go through the things they go through. But as the parents, as the women, as the husbands, the fathers going through this, it's difficult because I didn't realize that I was the only one going through it. My husband was going through it as well.
Right.
And I couldn't be there for him. And at some points I felt selfish and I was in a dark place. And I kept on and I was holding my family hostage. They didn't want to talk about certain things. They didn't want to bring up certain things when I came from the hospital. They took all the baby's pictures away. I mean, they were just like, they didn't want to do anything that would trigger me
Of course.
And one day I just sat there and I looked at my mom and I told her, I said, you know what? You don't have to be in a dark place if you don't want to be. You're there because you choose to be there.
Right.
And I'm talking to myself though, but I'm having this conversation with
You're
her.
just talking out loud to anybody
Yeah.
that listen. It's like,
and I'm
please.
like, I said, I know what I need to do. I just don't want to do it yet. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm comfortable holding y'all hostage. I'm comfortable with making everybody feel bad because I feel bad. And I'm like, but I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not good. It doesn't feel good and it's not fair to everybody else. So I know what I have to do. So I took some time and I just started to do some searching within myself of who am I? Who am I? What do I do? And why do I do it? And when I started the podcast, Mindful Intentions, you have to be mindful of your intentions. Why are you doing what you're doing? And I was very mindful of what I was doing. I just didn't care. And I started going to therapy. And my therapist said one thing to me that changed everything. I said, I have to do this and I have to. He said, who told you you did? And I just threw my hands up and I was like, hold on. Nobody said I had to do it. No. I take on these things and I don't have to take on these things. But I take on these things because I feel like nobody else is. But what if I don't take on these things? Then
the whole world's not going to come to an end if you don't take them on. I can tell you that. That's a part of something I'm writing in a book.
I was in the hospital. And Kim is not here, living.
Yeah. If Kim's not here, if Reverend T, the mindful coach, is not here, life goes on the next day, just like we were never here. That's insane. So that lets you know that if you take a moment to rest, to regroup, to take a nap. I took my daughter to school and I have to get up at 5 something in the morning, right? So when I came back, I was like, I'm taking a nap. And it's okay. And if the whole world shuts down while I take my few minutes of a nap, then the whole world shuts down. What am I going to do about it?
Yeah. Because you know what? You can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. And that's the one crucial thing that I learned. You run around here trying to take care of everybody else, minding everybody else's business. You need to mind your own business. You need to nurture yourself. You need to help yourself. You need to make sure that you're okay for real.
That's right.
And not just continuing to do what you're doing because it's not helping you or anybody else. You're no good to no one. And at that point, I realized that, this happened for a reason. Because I felt like I've been walking through life and everything has been good for me. And people think that. But truthfully, I go through things. I just been keeping it on, throwing it in the back seat till it came forward and it busted out the front window of the car, right?
Wow. Well, a lot of questions came in, comments. So we're going to go to some of those in the studio audience. Lorraine says, are the children able to visit with each other? That's a question she has.
Lorraine, I would love for that to happen.
Okay. Next question. I would have lost it, Tori says. Kidnapping and hiding and everything.
Come on now. You don't understand how many evil thoughts crossed my mind. And I had to say again, who am I? What do I do and why do I do it? You gotta take a step back and you gotta honestly let God take care of the situation.
Yes.
Because
that could change the whole trajectory of your life for all of the children at that point. So,
my husband would be like, what are you thinking? What is wrong with you? What are you up to? What are you scheming to do? And I'm just like, oh, wow, I'm out of control.
But Tori, you definitely, that's why I know who's in the virtual studio audience are the people. It may be a lot of people here that's watching, but the people that are here for the Kim Jacobs Show from the balance perspective, we get each other, because it's like, wait, what? You play on my child? You play on my kids? So
I mean, I had to question who I was for a minute. What is wrong with you? You know better than that. But
right.
when it came to the safety of these babies and what I said I was going to do, that meant doing whatever I needed to do. But you know what? I'm like, come on, God.
Yes,
and then I would get
that
mad.
would not have been the best move for you and for all of the remaining children. So thank God that he worked on your mind. Worked on your mind. What other comments came in? Let's see, Mackenzie from backstage. She's popping the comments up. Thank you, Mackenzie, for doing that. Let's see. I am not a violent person, but play with my toddler or try to hurt him. Mama bear on board. And then this came from Mackenzie, who's working backstage. She's like, I'm a mama bear when it comes to her baby boy. I won't say his name, but yeah. Go ahead. Let's see who else for comments. I'm a take charge person, Lorraine says too. My son asked me, who asked you to do it all, Mom?
Yeah.
That's a question. Yeah. How many people in this virtual studio audience that's watching today have that do it all, I can do it all syndrome type of thing? I would love to see you just be honest with yourself and even transparent with us. Do you feel like it's your responsibility to do it all? I know I've been very guilty of that. And then there are some times that I say, you know what? If you don't stop, your body is trying to talk to you, Kim. And if you don't take heed and listen to what it's saying, then shame on you, because your body was trying to tell you, take a moment, take a break, and you didn't listen to it. So that's your own fault then at that point, in my opinion. So, yeah. Okay. So let's go. And somebody said, hello, what? This is the emoji. Megan says, I sure do. Yes, I sure do try to do it all. Me too. Somebody said.
Yeah. We all do. We find ourselves in that place.
We all gonna just, yes. LaTanya raised her hand and she was like, yes, yes, yes. It's me. And I see that beautiful smile, LaTanya Moore over there. I see you. Let's see. Listen, I love when I just got my grandson, Sandra said. I just got my grandson. So maybe her grandson was in foster care or something. So she got her grandson. Congratulations to you, Sandra. Yeah. And listen, we'll keep your comments coming on throughout today's broadcast. Gertrude said sometimes we hide behind pain and not even say a word. That's what was happening here with Reverend T, the mindful coach. The part that we know how to help other people, but when it comes to helping myself, that was a problem. I think one of the more profound things, Tammy, that I heard someone say recently, which is actually one of our church mothers, she had said it, and she always teaches from it. Her name is Mother Patricia Lofton. And she says, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
That's it.
You have to give from your overflow, which means that your cup needs to be this big cup I have here. Okay. Let your light shine. Yes, I'm talking to you. But on the other side, it says, let your light shine too, Kim. So I have to let my light shine in order to teach you how to let your light shine. Right? I can't teach you something. Wait a minute, I might well get a drink of water while I'm doing it. Listen, I can't teach you something that I'm not willing to do myself. So if I'm the balance doctor, it's because I'm balancing a lot of different things. Some things are great. Some things are horrible. Some things are like, oh, I could deal with that. Some things are like, I cannot believe I have to deal with that. It's all over the place. So I'm not teaching you something that I'm not willing to do myself. And the mindful coach here is doing the same thing. She's teaching you from what she's learned from her own experience. Now, we're going to take a commercial break. Get that comment off first, if you don't mind, Mackenzie. And then right after that, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come back and we want to hear what MIND stands for. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone. We are back here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and Reverend T, the mindful coach, will be popping right back in a few moments. I will share with you all that according to mbct.com, mindful-based cognitive therapy is designed to help people who suffer repeated bouts of depression and chronic unhappiness. This is some statistics that Cassandra, one of our team members, found, and we wanted to make sure we share this resource with you all. The heart of the work lies in becoming acquainted with the modes of the mind, and that often characterizes mood disorders while simultaneously learning to develop a new relationship with them. So I'll put that over in the links in case any of you all want to learn more about that, as well as the QR code that you can scan. Let me put that up as well. The QR code that you can scan to go directly to the site to learn more. Again, we just share resources that's a resource for you. And I see you, Reverend T, so I'm pulling you back in as well. But if you all want to scan that QR code, you're welcome to, and that gives you just some additional resources. All right.
Thanks for sharing that. That's good information, because that's what we're going to talk about.
Cassandra, one of our team members. All of the things that happen here on the Kim Jacobs Show, we have a team of individuals that make these things happen, and I'm very grateful for the team that God has blessed me with. All right, so tell us what MIND stands for.
Mindful.
Mindful.
The M in mind stands for the mindful. You've got to be mindful.
Okay, Mackenzie, type those for me backstage.
What you're doing. So I'm going to give it down to you. So M stands for mindful. The I stands for intentions. N stands for nurture. D stands for drive.
You're going too fast. You're going too fast. Mackenzie's going to be like, tell her to slow down. Okay. M stands for mindful. I stands for what?
Intentions.
Intention. Okay.
Nurture.
Nurture is the N.
And drive.
And drive. Okay. So we'll pop those up as well for you all. But I would like for you to break those down for us, because people that are watching today, I want them to walk away with how to apply this mind algorithm to their lives.
Yes. Whenever you're going through anything, you got to stop and ask yourself, what is it that I'm going through? And again, I always ask those three questions. Who am I? What am I doing? And why am I doing it? And so you have to be mindful of who you are.
Okay.
Who you are in the present moment, not from the past, not going into the future. Who am I in this moment? How am I going to react? What's going to trigger me? How do I get myself into a safe place? I have to be intentional of that.
That's good.
Of what I'm doing to get myself to, if I'm not in a safe place, I have to be intentional on how I'm going to get to that safe place. And if it starts with our mind, because our mind controls the body. And so how we think, feel, and act all comes from our mind, and is subconsciously embedded in us from an early age. And that's what keeps us safe. It keeps us from doing certain things. But when we learn to consciously be aware of those things and how we interact within ourselves, that can help solve a lot of problems within our bodies as far as sicknesses and disease. And when we start to break down, because we break down inside before it actually comes out.
That's right.
And you said earlier that our bodies speak to us. And if we're not listening to our bodies are going to do something that's going to make us sit down. And that's what happened to me when I said I had a mental breakdown, because I was at a point where I could no longer think for myself. I didn't know who I was, what I was doing, and why I was doing it. But once I started to nurture my mind and understand, okay, I get it now. I need to take a step back. I need to work on me. And I need to be intentional on that. I need to draw lines in the sand, and I need to set boundaries. And a lot of times we don't know how to set those boundaries. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
That's right. And in one quote that I loved as well was, mindfulness is a way of befriending ourselves and our experience. So we have to be friendly to ourselves.
Yes.
Somebody, I don't even know who it is, but John, somebody said it. But the point is, listen, we have to be able to love ourselves, because wherever we go, we're there. Like, you can put a mole, you can put a wig, you can do whatever, but you're taking you wherever you go in life.
Absolutely.
And so we want to be mindful of who we are and what we're bringing to this world and to the universe. you know?
And I always say, wherever you are, you're going to show up. No matter what kind of front you try to put up, you're going to show up. So know who you are in that moment. No one will ever have to question that. And they will be able to see if you're off or if something is going on. That's what drives you.
That's right.
And so mindful intentions nurture and drive your business. And when I say your business, is you are the business. You're the most important asset in your life and in everybody else's that you care for. So we're often caregivers and we often are nurturers and we're often intentional about how we help others. But we have to be mindful and intentional about how we nurture and drive ourselves. Because that's what's going to get us to where we're trying to go. And if you break down, like if your car breaks down on the side of the road, do you just get out, walk off and leave it?
Nope.
Or do you figure out how to repair it? And are you a repairman? No. Do you know how to work on cars?
No.
So you might need to get some help. You might need to talk to a therapist. You may need to reach out, and it's okay. It doesn't say that you're weak, because I know for a fact that in my weakness, God is perfected, and he wants me to lean on him. He wants me to allow him to do what needs to be done in my life. And see, that's the part that we have, is this control issue. I wanted to be in control of everything. As long as I was in control, I could take care of it. But as soon as I wasn't in control, that's when my life started to come together, actually.
That's interesting you say that. The more control you released and said, okay, so be it, then things started falling more in place for you.
Yes.
That's interesting. How many people in the studio audience sharing that philosophy, that the more you loosened the reins, the more things fell in place? I'm going to give you just a quick example too, Reverend T. Last night, I was running around this community, right? Because 3 of my children had went on a bike ride and it was dark. And I was like, I don't think that they have reflectors. At least I don't know whether they have reflectors or not. So I was really kind of upset about it, you know? And so I said, you know what I'm going to do? I got in my car because I was like, well, even if my boys want to do this, I'm definitely going to get my daughter, because I know she does not be riding no bike in no dark, right? I am running around where I thought they went, because they had already told me where they went. So they'd asked for permission. They weren't just out without permission. So I rode to where they said they went, and I was looking, and I didn't see them. I actually saw these 3 individuals over at another little spot, and it was at an ice cream spot. And I was thinking, dog, Kim, stay focused, right? I said, stay focused. Because, I was like, dang, I want to scoop ice cream in the midst of looking for my kid. I was like, that looked like a nice ice cream little shop right there, all homemade and stuff. I said, slap yourself, stay focused. You out here to find your kids. Reverend T, I ride around. So I ended up coming back home because I couldn't find them. Guess where they are?
At home.
Not just at home. Y'all, okay, this is a quiz. Guess what they had? Okay.
Ice cream.
They have went. Here was the deal, Reverend T, mindful coach. There were 3 people sitting on a bench at the ice cream shop that I'm sitting there contemplating going inside of, so I could get me a scoop of homemade ice cream. But I thought I would be being selfish. So I drove past the ice cream shop. These kids, not these, I know what I'm saying. These kids, okay, they had ice cream from the ice cream shop, and the 3 people that I saw sitting there enjoying a scoop of ice cream while I'm riding around town stressed out.
That part.
Those 3 kids was my kids. In the dark, I just didn't identify that it was my kid. And they eating ice cream. And they didn't even bring me any. It ain't like they thought about me and brought me in. They did not bring me in. They ate it, and it was the container. My daughter was eating the last. She was like, "Oh, Ma, they even had sorbet. Oh, I'm looking around in town for y'all." I say all of that to say, guess what? They were fine, and here I was stressed out for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So loosen the reins if you have to a little bit, and things work out the way that they need to work out. And unless, in my opinion, this is just Kim's opinion, unless God watches, we watch in vain anyway. And so all of the tight holes and the strongholds that I've had, you explain the situation with your own children, that still some things happen. Some things happen. My child transitioned to be with the Lord. Things happen, you know?
Yeah.
All right, carry on.
Yeah, sometimes too, in that I've learned our breathing is everything, because we don't stop and think for a second how our breathing affects us.
That's good.
And when you learn that breath is life,
yes,
and we run around doing all these other things, but we don't take a moment to stop and just breathe and just recognize where we are in the moment and take a breath. And sometimes you have to pull yourself back out of some things and turn the situation around. And I always tell my kids, I'm like, when you're going through something and you feel upset or overwhelmed, or somebody says something, before you react, stop. I say, pause. And then turn around. If you got to turn around and circle, I don't care if they think you crazy or not, because what's going to happen if you don't do this can look crazy.
Yeah, right.
So stop.
Take a minute.
Take a minute and turn around and just take a deep breath and enjoy that breath. Be mindful of, oh, I'm breathing, I'm alive. Let me think for a minute on how I should react. Yes. And that's how we are being proactive instead of reactive. And I also say, if you're at work, if you're in a situation and something happens, take a potty break. Get up and remove yourself. Go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, count and breathe, and settle yourself, ground yourself, and know where you are in the moment, so you can be mindful of what is about to happen next. Because when we just fly off the handle, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you didn't react to something well. And that's okay. Right. And sometimes we're judged by that because, oh, they done lost their mind. But no, I'm going through something and you don't understand what I'm going through. So sometimes just being able to walk away, you don't always have to have something to say. You don't always have to have a comeback. It doesn't matter how somebody made you feel, because guess what? Feelings are valid. They very much are. And you can accept those feelings, but it does not make what is said true.
That's right. That's right. You're just sharing such profound knowledge and information. And I see a lot of comments coming in from the virtual studio audience. So Mackenzie, let's pop some of those up as well. And I see some larger ones too. So we want to see some of those. Cyrus says, response versus reaction. Great comment, Cyrus. Great comment. Tori says, there are phases in life where you grow from being a student to being an apprentice, to being a middle micromanager, to being a regional director, to being a top advisor, a policymaker, and finally a master or director. Not everyone is self-aware or reaches the level of desired self-actualization. Many are comfortable at different levels. Any comments to that? That's great.
I love that, because that's all about minding your business, because we are a business within ourselves. Like I said, we're our greatest asset, and learning how to nurture and drive yourself to grow. That's why we need coaches sometimes. That's why we need mentors. That's why we need other people that can pour into us, because oftentimes we do pour out more than what we've getting poured into. But sometimes we haven't been poured into at all, and we don't feel like that's for us. And that's why I started my podcast, is to give a platform for people to have a voice, to see other people like themselves, to see that, hey, I can do that too. You don't have to be someone big and famous to do whatever it is that you want to do, because you have a purpose and you were created with greatness to do these great things.
Yes.
You just sometimes need somebody that can help to get you there and encourage you and be your cheerleader. We all need that sometimes.
Well, speaking of cheerleader, Les Brown is my cheerleader, and I appreciate everything that he does with me to be able to allow the Kim Jacobs Show to thrive here on this particular platform. If you're interested in learning how to start your own talk show or your own podcast and share your gift with the world, make sure that you go to kimjacobsconsulting.com and let me know. I'll be happy to work with you one-on-one for 1 hour per week for 6 weeks. You own your own content at the end of the day. And I get the opportunity to pour what I've learned from being on PBS, the Word Network, and I've been working with NBC as one of their balance experts locally. And Coca-Cola sponsored me, sending me out to do extreme balance makeovers for families. So listen, I can pour some things into you that I believe can really help you be able to get your message out to the world. All right. Yes, I see Tori says you do not have to attend to every argument that you are invited to. Great comment. And I agree with you. We're going to do just that. It's really educating. Yes, Jake, I hope that you will. I hope that you will. Very good. Much love, honor, and compassion, Rose says. All right. I'm so glad that you all are so involved here in the studio audience. If any of you are interested in popping on screen, I did put a StreamYard link there for you. You can just use it and pop on backstage, and I'll pull you in if you have a direct question. Latanya
Amen.
says, Amen. And much love, much love. Hey, Dennis, how are you? Dennis is one of our faithful watchers. Gertrude said, listening to your heart and being silent is extremely important. We don't need to have the TV on, listening to music and noises all the time. Quietness is very vital. Great comment, Gertrude. That's when we can hear the Holy Spirit. That's when we can hear the Holy Spirit giving us instructions on how, when, and where. Thank you for your show. Gertrude, thank you for tuning in. All right. You're indeed a mindful coach. Yes, you are, Reverend T. You are a mindful coach, Reverend T over there. All right. You are right, Hassan says. All right. So I know that you have a philosophy and you say it's a way to become free. There is a way to become free. And so what I want to do right after this commercial break, and I'll go to the commercial break, Mackenzie, right after this commercial break, I like to hear what's your theory on getting free. We'll be right back.
Nothing says I love you more than Final Expense Insurance Whole Life Protection. With funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family % off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions, 704-499-3616.
All right, everyone, we're back and we're talking with Reverend T, the mindful coach. And I'd love for you to be able to tell people how they can stay connected with you. Let's do that. And then we'll do it again at the end of the broadcast.
Okay. Well, I have a website. It's yourfullmindlife.com. And if you go there, you can see all the things that I do and I offer. And you can drop a contact form to meet with me one-on-one for a free 15-minute Ask the Coach session, where you can just ask me whatever questions you want to ask and I will answer them. And you can also do a 60-minute consultation where we can set up a life strategy plan. Again, like a business, it's like a strategic plan for your life. We will help you out with that. And if you decide you want to work with me, great. If you don't, hopefully you will walk away with some things that will empower you to greatness. You can find me on Facebook, Tanika L. Scenes, on Your Full Mind Life, on Facebook, and Mind Your Business Podcast, and on Instagram, rev.t.themindfulcoach. rev.t.the.mindful.coach.
It's here. It's right there on the screen on Instagram.
You'll find me.
.t.mindful.coach on Instagram. You can find
there
her.
You go.
You're gonna find her.
You'll find me. I'm not hard to find.
Awesome. So everybody, I want to hear from you for a second. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of everybody, was what I was getting ready to say. How do you recommend people really get free? How do they break free mindfully and mentally?
First of all, we have to understand that we're already free.
Yeah,
and that's the basis of it. We are. Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. But we often don't know what that looks like. Right. And it's scary to try to see it because we think it's selfish. And that's where our self-care comes in. Once you learn to take care of yourself, once you learn to develop a plan of, this is how I need to make sure that I'm okay and I'm well. But the thing is this, you have to want to do this for yourself. You cannot do it for your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your husband, or your children. Because if you do it for them, you're going to still be stuck. You have to know for a fact that this is wholeheartedly for me. It's not selfish. It's what's needed. And it's okay. But a lot of times we're not okay with that.
Right.
And we need to learn to be okay with being okay with taking care of ourselves first.
That's
because
good.
I always say this. It says the greatest commandment is to love God with your whole heart, mind, and soul. And the second is like unto it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You can't love the first and you can't love the neighbor without knowing who you are in those.
That's right.
And so you got to know who you are in Christ within your body. And then you're able to give that out, because you can't receive what you don't know how to give, and you can't give what you've never received.
Wow. That's great advice. I hope you all are taking significant notes today, because the Mindful Coach has shared some things with us that are just game changers. If you're really trying to be free in your mind and you wanting to have a better outlook in life, here are just some tips that she shared that can really help us get on the right path. And when transformation begins, you said that it begins somewhere specifically first. Where is that from your perspective?
It's in your mind, because you have to change the way you think and the way you see things. And it says, when you change the way you see things, the way you see things will change. And it's your perspective of it. Are you having a bad day? There are no bad days. It's not your day to have a bad day, because everything God made is good. You have to look at the situation. It's a learning situation. It's something that you can glean on and take from and say, okay, did that add to me or did it take away from me? It's not taking any way away from you, but it is adding to you to know what you want and don't want. Yeah. And you can eliminate those things, and you can say, okay, next time I know better. You know what it says? Fool me once, shame on you.
Right.
And we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Sometimes we have to change things. And because of these behaviors, these cognitive behaviors that we've learned, and these beliefs that we've learned, they're embedded in us. And when we start to come out of that, it's like a cocoon. It's like coming out of your shell. It's like getting rid of things. You're loosening up these burdens, and you're realizing that you don't have to do it alone. You're not the only one that's going through something. Everybody goes through something, because I can tell you my story is detrimental to me, but there's somebody else that I interviewed on my show that lost a child right in front of her face, and there was nothing she could do about it, but she's now helping people to heal. See, we all have a story, and that story isn't for us. That story is so other people can heal. Absolutely. We go through it so we can show others that you can come out of it. And if you've went through anything and you've come out of it, this is your job to serve someone else with what you know to help them get to another place other than a dark place that they might be in.
Absolutely.
It takes time. It's not easy.
Thank you for sharing that, because it starts in our mind, everyone. We've heard it from the Mindful Coach, and I see comments that's still coming in. Pop a few more of them up, Mackenzie backstage, if you don't mind, and let's recognize some of our guests here. This is called decluttering one's mental filter, Dennis says. You are correct, Dennis. You have to put yourself first. That's what a Facebook user says. Okay. Listening to your inside could make you control what comes from the outside, Hassan said. Great point. Can you still use the Hungry for Greatness offer? I'm almost recovering from my eye surgery. Cyrus, I will reach out to Les Brown's team and find out an answer for you and respond back to you. Okay. All right. Let's see who else. We're going to do just that. It's really educating. You are right, Hassan says. Yes. Renewing your mind. I see. You don't have to attend to every argument. Let's go to some of these comments down here. Renewing your mind is important, and yourfullife.com. Your mindful life coach. Your mindfullife.com is what it is. And I'll put that back up for you guys. I see you, Cyrus. Cyrus says, thank you. All right. So I see a lot of your comments that have come in. Thank you all so much for being such active participants and asking great questions today. Well, no question is not a great question. So thank you. And do you have any closing comment, Reverend T?
I just want everybody to know that I love what I do, and I love helping and serving others. And my business is based around biblical principles. I work with people that know who God is, and I work with people who want to know who God is, and I want to work with people who don't know who God is so they can have a closer walk and a better journey in their life. But it all sets up around why Jesus came. He came for the transforming of the renewing of our minds. And if we be transformed through the renewing of our minds, we will understand our purpose. And then we will stop living for yesterday and what's to come. And we'll start living in the present moment, because today is our gift and we have to be the present. So be mindful of your intentions so they can nurture and drive your business.
Wow. Put lots of hearts, love, hugs, thank yous, and everything in the comment section. Listen, people want to know how you can support and contribute to the Kim Jacobs Show. I encourage you to Cash App and the simple $ Kim Jacobs Inc. You can do PayPal, Venmo. You can become a patron and have after party content. Whatever works for you to support the programming. We greatly appreciate your online contributions to allow this show to continue Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, he came to set us free, a Facebook user said. So thank you. Let's put your contact information up once again. Stay connected with Reverend Tanika Steens, yourfullmindlife.com. Yourfullmindlife.com. You can follow her on Instagram at reverend.t.mindful.coach. And on Facebook, Your Mindful Life Coach, Your Full Mind Life Coach, Your Full Mind Life Coach on Facebook. All right. So that's today's episode, everyone. And what I actually need to do is, because I can't timestamp my videos anymore because they're streaming on so many different platforms. And it's a lot of different platforms: Believe in Your Dreams Network, CTR Media Network, Les Brown's Facebook page. So that's the reason you'll see me. If you ever want to know some additional things that I'm going to say, it'll be at the very end of the broadcast moving forward. And then I'll share maybe 2 or 3 more minutes worth of stuff so that we can end this broadcast. So when you hear me say, thank you so much for watching today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show with our wonderful guest, Reverend T, the Mindful Coach. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much.
All right. Now, y'all are going to be like in production here, okay? Because now I'm going to share a couple of things that are just really time stamped for now, and we'll be closing out. So let me do this. Today, I want you all to know that coming up on September 24th, 2022, coming up here, there's going to be our 7th annual 5K walk in honor of Gabriel Michael Jacobs, my 12-year-old son that transitioned 7 years ago to leave this earth to be in heaven. And we do a walk every year in honor of him. And it's to raise awareness for heart defects and anti-bullying, because he was the anti-bullying mediator at his school. And so I do this to be able to raise funds so that we can be able to go out and do random acts of kindness. We do what we call doing it Gabe's way, random acts of kindness. We give gas, groceries. We help people with expenses for their medication and hotels and all kinds of stuff that people have going on that they present to us. And we also get to do it Gabe's way. We get to keep his heart beating like this. So you can walk virtually or you can walk in person. It's September 24th, and you can go to GabesHeartFoundation.org. I'll put that up here. GabesHeartFoundation.org. Any amount that you donate registers you for the walk, so it's not any set amount. But if you want a t-shirt, then go to GabesHeartFoundation.org, and the t-shirt fees are there. You can purchase your t-shirt. Gabe's Heart Foundation 5K walk, September 24th, 2022. And I will also tell you all, let me put this beautiful picture up. I didn't put this up during the show, but look at this. I love that picture. I love that picture. But now this piece of the whole show is going to be cut off because I got to not timestamp it. But today is also a day that I think everybody needs to be aware of. It is actually National Buy a Book Day. So today, September 7th, is National Buy a Book. If you have not bought a book recently, and according to the stats, buying a book and reading books is declining, according to some of the stats that Cassandra sent to me. Make sure you take a moment and buy a book today. If you're looking for some books to buy, hey, I have a few. You can definitely buy Extreme Balance Makeover, Rise Up, Women Who Lead, Building Legacy. I have 2 boxes of those, and I can ship that out to you, or you can get an electronic version of one of the books. This is How I Fight My Battle, Women of War. All you have to do is go to KimJacobsShow.com and buy you a book today. But buy any book. Don't just worry about mine. Buy a book. Can anybody buy a book? Are you going to buy a book today? Say, I'm buying a book today. Put that in the comment section. All right. Thank you for staying on with me, Reverend T. And thank you all for being in participating in this fun after party piece. Thank you for your show. Thank you, Gertrude, for tuning in. Everybody have a great day. Go ahead and sign out, Mackenzie. Have a great one. Stay backstage, Reverend T. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.